clay that's about 11 inches by 14 inches. And if you do your slab of clay, if you roll it out in that big rectangle like that, then you're going to get 2 flamingos easily, right? So you all have one pattern, but that's not a big deal because you'll trace the one pattern in the lower right corner, and then you're going to turn it this way, and then turn it this way, and it's going to fit exactly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you just have to turn it twice to get it to fit in that rectangle. I remember the last time we did this project, we struggled with that a little bit, so I figured I'd cover that right away. So we're going to roll out the slab. Where do we start rolling? Whenever we roll out a slab, where do we start, Ian? Do we start on the edge?
No.
Do we start on the other edge?
Yes. No.
Where do we start, Ian?
The middle.
Thank you. We start in the middle. And then what direction do we, Bernie? Do we go back and forth really fast?
No.
Do we, Bernie? No. We go up and lift, and then we go back and lift. And then we flip it over, please, and roll from the middle up, roll from the middle back, and lift at the edge each time. We're going for a rectangle. This is a rectangle. Like technically, yes, this is a rectangle, but is it the shape of the rectangle I showed you? No. So then we're going to widen it up. Whatever direction you need it to stretch, stretch it so that it shows and looks like, so that it starts to look like the rectangle I showed you before we started. Ben, what direction should I roll this? Do you think I should roll it this way? Or should I roll it this way?
This way.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, Marshall, what direction should I roll it now? Should I roll it like this? I think you're right. I love it. You guys are on. You guys are firing all pistons today.
Yes.
Okay, I rolled it like 4 times. What should I do, Bernie? I should. You're right. I should flip it over. Okay, do we want this slab of clay to be as thick as our thumb today?
No.
No, never. Never. Okay, what we've been using is our pinky. So it's a little bit, it's just about the right thickness now. So there we go. Now I feel good. A flattened pinky, it should be just a little thinner than our flattened pinky.
Big enough, Mom.
Because what we're going to do is we're going to double this up. We're going to take our pattern, trace it on here, and we're going to put the 2 slabs of clay together, which doubles it up and makes it about as thick as your thumb. And that's our like maximum thickness, okay? So we don't want to. So I'm going to trace my pattern. Ian, do I have it placed in the right place?
No.
No.
Goodness, no. We want the corner of the neck to be in the corner of the clay, right?
Yeah.
If the corner of the neck is in the corner of the clay, we should get both of them out of this slab. Ooh, what a test I'm putting myself up for, huh? What if I fail? Greg, what if I fail? What if I don't do it right, Greg? Okay, I'm holding my tool straight up and down. Yes, I'm holding it straight up and down, and I'm tracing the pattern. Notice how my fingers of my other hand are following with my fingers on the pattern, so the pattern doesn't ripple up and fold up underneath the tool. Okay, Greg agrees. Okay, so now, like I said before, we're going to flip the pattern over and then turn it this way so the corner of the neck is in the corner of the clay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, so that'll take away some of the confusion we had last time. Again, we're going to lay the pattern down, follow along with the hand that really doesn't have anything else to do, keeping the pattern nice and flat on the paper. Do I slant my needle tool when I'm cutting, Marshall? No. Hold it straight up and down, cut all the way through. Ruth, are you getting all this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Amazing. Amazing. So Bob and Sue went to the zoo. The flamingos there had yellow eyes. That is an option for you.
Why is that then?
You can do yellow eyes if you want. I love a bright, deep, a nice, deep, bold color of eyes. So I don't know that I would do yellow eyes, but if you want to be more realistic, they can be yellow, that's for sure. I'm getting rid of my scraps. Should I rumple up my scraps like this?
No.
No, why? What could we use that for?
Bernie.
What could we use the scraps for? We want to use our scraps for what?
Wings.
Wings. You're right. So now I got to straighten them up. Oops, oops, oops. Sometimes I make mistakes. All right, so now, whoops, I did it again. I didn't realize that was connected. Here we go. So now what some people have done in the past, and I think this is super, super clever, I love the idea. Some people have taken their hands and pressed their hands in the clay and then traced it, and that's the wings. Okay, so if you like that idea, you know what, I'm gonna back up a tiny bit here. I don't like how thick these are, this clay is. Before you trace your wings or cut out your wings, please roll that nice and flat because we're adding layer upon layer upon layer.
Right.
We don't want our flamingo body to be so thick that it's gonna blow up. We did have just a couple of wings, you know, crumble or, you know, like crack off in the kiln, so we don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press my hand, press my fingers, digit by digit, joint by joint, and now I'm gonna cut around it. Ew. Okay, I got old lady hands. I'm sorry. They're not as attractive as we would like them to be, but whatever. Okay, never mind. It looks great when it's on the flamingo. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do the wings. I'm going to quickly roll this back out.
Scratch and wet.
I didn't, yes, Ian, you're right. We have to scratch and wet. I'm not there yet. I'm hurrying up. I'll get moving. I'll get moving.
Yes, Bernie.
Hear what she said about making the wings?
I'm pressing my fingers.
Use your fingers.
Now I'm going to trace again. Just cutting around the fingers. Okay, there we go.
Wing really
Oh, never mind. They're not old lady hands. They're young lady hands. Okay. They're fine. They're gorgeous. I'm going to save a scrap for the eyes later. But right now we're going to start, what are we going to do? We're going to scratch and wet these together. Now, it's too easy to goof up and scratch and wet the wrong side of the flamingo. So the best way to do this is to carefully pick it up and make it look like they're kissing. Okay? So Bob, if you watch the rest of this demonstration, it'll probably answer any questions you have. So look at this. I'm going to work with them looking like they're kissing.
Right.
See that? Because then
Yeah.
I know that I'm working on the right side. Okay? Then I know when I scratch and wet them together, I'm not going to be scratching and wetting the head to the butt. Okay, that would be bad. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll add the wings. Now, can I just take these freshly cut out, Greg, can I take these freshly cut out wings and scratch and wet them on? Or should I do something else to them first?
Oh, we're gonna smooth out the edges, right?
Yes.
There you go,
Yes.
guys.
Greg, you are right. We're going to smooth out the edges. We're going to pat those edges. And then we're going to line it up. Pat the edges on the other one.
Flamingo too.
And and then we're going to put that on. So I'm going to scratch and wet this on really carefully. Should I be really like tepid about scratching and wetting, or should I be really generous about scratching and wetting? Ruth. Ruth, am I going to scratch and wet a lot or hardly at all?
a lot.
A lot. Yes, you guys get me. It's like when you're eating chocolate. Do you eat a lot or do you hardly have any at all? It's just ridiculous. Why bother? Oh my gosh. Right, Craig? Okay. So, I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. Does it carry over, Liz? Do we scratch and wet a lot on this one too?
Yes.
Yes. We must scratch and wet a lot on this one too. Now, I had some people scratch and wet the wing generously, but not the body, and then the wing came off. So should we scratch and wet the body? Everybody?
Yes.
Yay, look at that. Everybody's hearing me. Cool. I feel popular. Okay. All right then. And then we need our eyes. So what I like is on the flamingos, what we did is we made this almond shape first. And you can just freehand cut out an almond shape first. And then put a little round eye inside that almond shape. is that huge? We don't want huge bulging eyes, that's ridiculous. It didn't drink a pot of coffee this morning. We're not doing that. We're just gonna do a small, like a large booger, okay? Like those oversized boogers, okay? That's the size we're going for. I mean, really, if you have a booger like this, you're in trouble, right? You don't want a booger that big. Let's get rid of it. All right, scratch and wet it.
Yeah.
And then scratch and wet the eyeball on. And press it on. And then we're going to quickly do another almond shape. Just freehand, a little almond shape. Smooth your edges. I'm doing all that stuff while I'm talking here. Karen, can you reach me about 3 pieces of the dry cleaning plastic? Yep. Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to scratch and wet it together. Look at, so carefully. Grab it. Guys, you want to know this.
What?
Sue, Michelle, when you flip it over, if you grab it at the corner of the neck and the head and the beak, Bob, look at this. When you're flipping it over, grab it this way, gently flip it over then. You won't, we had some twisting and stretching of the necks last time.
Right.
This is a nice way to pick it up. This way, do you see that? Lois, you see that? Okay.
Yep.
That way it won't stretch and distort so much. A whole bunch, like the big ones from the apple box, please. So then we're going to scratch and wet all the way around the neck and head thoroughly. Keep dipping. It shouldn't be dry. Oh, I'm actually going to finish this one. I might save it. Awesome. So guess what? We're not going to scratch and wet. Oh, Karen wants it. Okay, I'll give it to Karen. Okay, I can do that. Scratch and wet. What part don't we scratch and wet? Does anybody remember?
What?
The bottom, because that's where we're going to put the legs. Excuse me. All right, so don't scratch and wet in the tummy. Don't scratch and wet that part. Okay. I'm scratching and wetting the length of the neck. Now remember, you got to scratch and wet both sides of the neck, even though it's so long and skinny. Marshall, can you see this? Should I hold this up? Scratch and wet under the chin.
Okay.
Scratch and wet the length of the neck on both sides, please. Yes. Greg says yes. Thank you, Greg. You're so agreeable today.
Greg is agreeable.
Yeah. All right. Garrett, what part am I not scratching and wetting? Under the tummy, right? Am I right?
Huh?
Yes. All right. Okay, so then we're going to take some rumpled up paper. I'll be right back.
I'm watching you right
No, I need that. So we're going to take some rumpled up paper, lay it in the tummy. It's just eaten, okay?
Right.
It's full. And then we're going to lay this on so gently. Now, we always smooth our edges, right?
Yeah.
So this is when we're going to, excuse me, smooth the edge of the flamingo. We're going to do it so carefully, but before we start patting on the edge, we're going to prop up on a pillow the neck and head. He's very tired. Last time what happened is the wings got a little squished. The wings and one eyeball got a little squished. So if we're propping it up on a pillow, then it shouldn't get so squished. Okay? I'm thinking, this is my new plan for today. Every time we do it a little differently, maybe a little better, hopefully. So now, I'm going to go around and smooth this edge, smooth that seam where it comes together, and make it look more lifelike and more realistic all the way around. So it doesn't look sharp and cut,
Right.
and without wrecking the eyeball and squishing that wing underneath. Now what should we, when you look at this, when you see this, Ruth, the neck is fragile. We have to be careful how we handle it, okay? That's good, Karen, thank you. All right. So we'll just, when we get this far, everybody will need some dry cleaning plastic. I can help come around and help you make your pillows. I'm smoothing all of this. Smoothing out the neck so it doesn't look like there's a separation. Do we wet our fingers?
No.
Thank you, Ben. Liz, are we going to stick our fingers in the slurry container? No. Thank you for knowing that. Actually, when our fingers get so gooey, we can wipe them on the canvas.
Right.
And that will help clean them up and dry them. There we go. So now he's resting on I don't know. What is this, a boy or a girl? I'm not sure. Did you figure that one out, Bob? How do you know the difference between a boy and a girl? Did you figure that out at the zoo? Okay. Well, if you want, you can even do eyelashes.
Right.
It's up to you. Okay? Okay. So this is what it looks like.